Okay, so I got this Blackbox log synced up with the video, and this is of an Aquila 7 that a customer is having a little bit of tuning issues with. So let me just go ahead and start this up and take a look at the video and the log together. And what I'm looking for is bobbling on the pitch or the roll axis. And I'll stop the video and talk a little bit about that. So on the graphs, I have gyro data, PIDs for the pitch and roll axis. I have the motor traces. I have the debug for the gyros, just a raw gyro, and then I have some other things, for states and RC commands. So let me just go ahead and do this and stop it when I see something really interesting. So what I'm going to be looking for is the blue gyro for pitch or the blue gyro for roll to start bouncing up and down. So let's just play a little bit of video and watch these blue lines. Okay, so we have liftoff here. A little bit of wavering of the blue lines. They're just kind of, well, yeah, so I'm seeing those things fluctuate a lot. So what that means is that there's the vibration along the pitch or the roll axis. So let's just go back. Let's stop and take a look. Oh yeah, there's a big one right there. So let's just go back and take a look at where that blue just takes a wild fluctuation. Okay, so here's one right here. Where the blue line right here, that's the gyro for the roll. It just oscillates. It starts pretty small on this side, and then gets to like a very large amplitude here. And what you see is that the red line is going opposite, and you want to have that. That's your P. And in this case, the blue line amplitude is much greater than the amplitude of the red line. So the P for the roll is not set high enough here to counteract the gyro motion on this axis, and so that the P has to proportionally be as strong or stronger than the actual gyro rotation that's being put into it, or the rotation. So up the P's on the roll. And what I'm seeing is that there's quite a bit of oscillation on the D as well. So the D's are maybe a little bit strong, and the filtering needs some work. So looking at the pitch axis, if I start playing it, okay, I'm looking for. Okay, so it's expected when you're doing acro to see a little bit of more movement on the axis, but you can clearly see here where the blue line for the pitch is moved and the red proportional for the pitch is moving to counteract it, but it's not strong enough to really correct it. So let's take a look at the log headers for the PIDs. Okay, so yeah, so PIDs for the roll and pitch and yaw are a little bit low. So the roll, I would bump up at least 10. So go to 64 here. Pitch at least 10, 70. And the yaw, I would make 70 as well, because I always make my yaw the same as the highest value of my pitch. I don't know if this is default, but I seems a little bit high. I seems to work pretty well on default. I would this isn't really going to hurt it too much, but I would lower the I's unless I saw some drift on either pitch or roll. Let's see, the D's. This looks high. The D's look high, so I think default is around 35 or so. So I would actually lower these back down to default. The D's back down to default, and the minimums. Let's see. Roll and pitch, you can go lower on these. I would definitely make my minimums kind of low unless I saw some oscillation at a steady state cruise. If I'm cruising along and I start to see fast oscillation, I'll increase my minimum, my D min. So let's see, suggestions here: lower just the D gains back down to stock, 35 or something like that. And increase the P's And eyes, I would put, I would put all these back defaults and just raise the P's back, to a stronger level until I saw that the P's were at least proportional 1-to-1 with the gyro movements, and you probably need it just a little bit stronger. So just keep playing with that, but yeah, bump those up by 10 at least, and the yaw by 20. Let's see what else. Yeah, let's look at the filters real quick here. So the roll gyro graph I'm looking at here, and there's the noise starts at around 80 hertz, so I would change whatever this gray line is to be 80. Looking at this blue line here, D-term low pass filter dynamic cutoff, it starts at 140, which is right in the middle of, or a third of the way into the noise. So I would lower this 140 to 80, and I would increase this high end. Actually, see, this is 340. Yeah, I would lower the 340 down to 300. So I would go 80 to 300 on the D-term low pass filter dynamic cutoff, and then for the D-term low pass filter 2, that looks about right. And this gyro low pass filter dynamic cutoff, 400 to 1000 hertz. There's absolutely no noise above 300 almost. So somehow this filter does not look correct. Whatever the dynamic low pass filter is, I'm sorry, I don't have the Betaflight configurator in front of me just to kind of look at this kind of stuff, but this just needs to be reset. So this might be because the range is set to auto or high, but I would make sure that it's set to low. Whatever the dynamic filter is, we have the option set it to low, but double check it to make sure that this is actually useful someplace, or turn it off, because it's not really doing anything right now. But if it's something that will help, and I see a lot of oscillation in the D as I'm looking at this. So if I look at D's, there's going to be quite a bit of shaky oscillation on this yellow line here. So those are my recommendations. Increase the P gains by 10 at least. Put the yaw to be equal to the P's on the pitch axis. Fix up the filters a little bit. Make sure that the filters are set in ranges that make sense on the graph here. So definitely 80 hertz on the low end, and on the high end 300 hertz. Outside of that, there's nothing happening. So all the filters should all work within the range of the noise. Okay, so hope that helps, and yeah, thanks a lot for sending this in.